Welcome to the Football Historian Podcast.
By all means, enjoy it.
He will go right to the very top.
Dos, tres, cuatro times.
Here we go, Germans.
I will turn these results round.
All right, that's good manners.
There's animosity, but there's no fight.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Okay, make me feel sick if I look at you.
No, I want to fight here.
Don't drink, don't sleep with women, don't drive fast cars.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit too!
Hello, welcome to the Football Historian Podcast. This week it's part 2 of the interview with Anthony Gerrard. If you haven't seen part 1, go and give it a watch or a listen. This week it's an hour and a half interview. Great stories. If you've seen the Bradley Orr alleged youth tale that's on our YouTube, it's got over 100,000 views. It's like an hour and a half of stories just like that. It's definitely worth a watch or a listen. Watch it all the way through to the end. I really hope you enjoy it. Let's get on with the episode. What's the biggest fallout you've ever had with a manager? Which I don't know was
fallout. Mackay. Dave Jones, that weren't a fallout. Because he went about like a coward.
Yeah.
So after the playoff final, I thought he brought me in Everton, new season, blah, blah, blah. Then last day of the window, sends me to Hull on loan. You know what I mean? Like, proper coward gear.
Yeah.
But I'd say Mackay, yeah. Mackay, it was like a running battle. It was a running battle. But I didn't know it was a running battle, if that makes sense. Like, it was always just, he was on me for whatever reason. And it had a detrimental effect to me, like mentally, years and years to come. And I didn't really know it. But I was just like, it was something every day that he'd have a go at me, and I was like, oh, now, give us a minute.
Yeah.
It's a yard. Honestly, crazy.
Why does he do that, and why? Because we say some managers there. That's what I was trying to say to you before, like trying to win someone over. It's like when people come in,
I could never win him over.
They've decided that they don't want you. So like, is that what it is? Is that you're still trying to win him over, and you realise you can't, or you just feel like attacked because of it, or?
No, it was so. I played. Crazy how it happened. So I played the first season, got to play a final. Second season, cleared up on all the played the seasons at Hull. Right. So when he came in, Dave Jones could have sacked then. So I was like, I've heard what's happened, blah blah blah. I was like, yeah, no, you're gonna meet me centre half. So I was like, okay, cool, yeah. So we're in. Then he signs a lad called Ben Turner. He was injured. And I was like, all right, cool, no problem. He's not better than me.
Yeah.
No, I've got no issues with that. I didn't have any issues with Ben anyway, you know what I mean? I was just always back, like I said, always back myself. So then I'm playing, and Ben's coming, getting fitter and fitter. So we played Hull. So a goal gets scored. 1v1 defending. And the lad, Matty Fry, a friend of mine, just basically falls over the ball and lands in his pad, and he scores. So I'm like, fuck, Jesus Christ. Get it back to 1-1. So then a goal happens. Nothing to do with me. My man pulls out wide. I follow him. Stay out there, blah, blah, blah. Ball gets crossed in, and it goes. Nick Barmby scores between the right back and right side centre half. So we're sitting in the changing room. So I've got my head down like that. So he comes in, he starts shouting. I look up, and he's in my face, and I'm like, what? He's like, going on at me, and like I said, I don't like, so I went, what? Me? I said, get the video, and you'll see that I said, the first goal, yeah. He said, he fell into the ball. He said, I could have cleared it better. He said, the second goal, not on me. You've asked me to do everything I've done, blah, blah, blah. So then that's the start of it. So, well, like, he goes on at me, and his assistant, David Kerslake, he's a little rat. He like scurries out after him, and Joe McBride, his dad was a Lisbon Lion. He's like the first team coach, and I go, Joe, what's that about? And he goes, like, basically embarrassed for him.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah. So then I'm sitting there, and I go, that's me done here, And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, that's me done. And the lad go, you haven't played well? I said, no, played well. I said, but that's me done.
Just because of the way he acted, you
just like it was just like over the top, do you know what I mean? And the lads go, no way. I was like, watch next week, I'm not gonna play. I can guarantee you from that reaction, blah, so the lads are like, no, you will, or no? Sure as eggs are eggs. I didn't play. And then from there, I was in and out. I was playing for games, then I was out.
Yeah.
And then even like in the training ground, you just have a go at me for like no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I told the story, this little ratty assistant, so he had to wear shin pads every day for training. No one was going through each other in training. It was just his rule, do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm sitting here, so I used to sit here and Witch used to sit next to me because I was 6, he was 7. So as I'm ducked down like that to put, remember the old Sondico shin pads, like little tiny ones?
Yeah.
So I got a scalpel and ripped the foam off. And so just to have foam in there so it looked like I had something. So as I'm putting the foam in, I look up and a little rat, Dave Kerslake's like looking down the door, but he doesn't know that I've clocked him, do you know what I mean? So as I'm looking like that, I thought, why is he doing that, the little rat? So I thought, here's what I'll do. So the kit man he must have about 50 pairs of these little Sondico shin, yellow, I can remember them now. So I thought, I'll put a proper pair in, so I put them in. So we're warming up and it's like the kids' holidays, like it is now, Easter.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, around at the same time, to be honest. So we're training. So where the Vale is, the building's here. The car park's to the left. And there's like a big net there. It's like the fans all standing watching. So we're warming up right on the net. Like off the pitch. But they never ever used to do it.
Yeah.
So we're jogging round. So Witch is like laughing, going, you gonna say something? I was like, no, I can't just see him. So his mate like jumped into him. So he goes, everybody got the shin pads on? So I was like, yeah. Everybody got the shin pads on? So I was like, yeah. Jazz, have you got yours on? I was like, yeah, I've got mine on, Gaffer, yeah. You're like, you sure? Like, I've got my shin pads on. And I went, don't you trust me? Don't you believe me? And he was like, no, come on then, everybody, let's see your shin pads. Out the blue. So I just went, look, there's my shin pads, got the two men knocking together. Mate, I swear to God, he was like, this basement like thunder. He's walked off, his little runs, Dave Kerslake's followed him after. Mate, honestly, it was crazy, like, just, so but he roaring at me while this was going on. Why are you, blah, blah, blah. I was like, what are you shouting for? I'm not shouting at you. Are you shouting for all these fans? To show your authority? And I was just going.
Were you saying that in front of them?
Yeah, in front of the fans, like, what are you shouting for? I'm not shouting.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got a problem, it's no problem, but what are you shouting at me for? Yeah. And it just kept on golden. So, like, when I'd have a meeting with him, I used to have a meeting like every other day. So we'd sit across the table, and his assistants would sit behind me. He'd sit behind me. So in the end, like, I didn't say nothing. So I just got to the point where I just thought, you're a fucking bully. You're a fucking no good bully. And everybody hates bullies, don't they?
Yeah.
So I just walked in and went, what the fuck is he doing in here? I said, tell him to get the fuck out. I said, if you've got something to say to me face. I said, you've got a problem with me, we can sort it out if you want. What do you mean by that? I said, whatever way you want to see it as. If you've got a problem with me, we can sort it out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just thought, fuck, you just know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not fucking sitting there being a 26-year-old man, being bullied by a fucking fella.
So they're just waiting for you to have a reaction to the excuse to get rid of you. That's all it is. You think,
it was crazy. So I was always in the fat club. How you can be in a fat club as a professional footballer, I don't know. My body fat was always like 11%. Do you know what I mean? Which it could be construed as high, but I don't think it is. So he said, you need to lose 2% body fat by the time you come back. And if anybody's ever tried to lose 2%, it's fucking hard to do.
Yeah.
So I was off season, training. So I had to come in a week before everyone else to do testing. So he didn't even bother to come in. So Nilton Taroso, his name was the S&C coach. It was like, just me and him. Yeah, you got to do this. I was like, are you messing? He was like, no. So I thought, oh my God, this is taking a piss.
So is it just you? Or
just me. Yeah. Just me. He done loads of things. Like going to, so I'll finish the story. So then he's like, wow, Jez, Nilton, this is, tell you what, you're looking good condition, mate. Like, well, I can help you, mate. I've trained for fucking 7-8 weeks non-stop, you know what I mean? Watch the Everton at a vet, blah, 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 trying to get this 2% off. Because, you know what I mean? He's the manager, he's told me to do, so let's try and get it done. I lost 1.5%. Not good enough. That's what he said to me. Not good enough. So, like, as he's on the phone, so Nilton, when I was in with him, he had to phone the manager and tell him all the stats and all that. So he's going bicep, I don't know, like down 2%. This is down. Because like taking from like 6 or 7 points, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is down. And then overall, he's down to like 8.9%. 9.7%. And he was like really good, and he went, not good enough. Sounds to stay down, he can come in training with you until the lads come in. That's what I've done.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just like arsehole stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But he's still, obviously this is in the summer and that, but
this is so everything that happened in that year.
Yeah.
This is the summer after.
But he was still playing you in that year, wasn't he? So
yeah,
like,
in and out.
But why is he like? So what's the motive behind all this? Is what I'm trying to say. Is it just to make you react so he can get rid of you?
Yeah, just a mind fuck. You know what I mean?
Because was he doing it to other players, or
no,
were you going to be a fit?
Just me.
Yeah,
just me. Because the captain couldn't stay fit. So I was in, I was out. I was in, played for 4 games. I was in, I was out. Played for 6 games. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he just had me on a piece of string. So this season,
it's just weird though. That's trying to see what the motivation is for. Because were you playing better because of it? Were you fitter because of it?
I was well fitter.
Yeah.
I was well fitter because I thought, I'm not fucking having you. You know what I mean?
So it says it worked that way, but obviously
it worked in that way. But I want to play.
You wouldn't.
Yeah, mentally, I was gone.
Yeah.
I was gone for 4 years after it. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't know I was gone. Yeah. And it sounds really crazy and really stupid, but I was just gone. I signed one of the best contracts the best contract at Huddersfield, and I'm signing holding a picture like I'm up north. I should be made up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Leicester, the end of that season, in the Carling Cup season, Leicester offered to take me on loan in January. Nigel Tingo, he wanted a loan fee at £250,000. Who does that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just being proper spiteful. You can go to it, and then when I was going to leave, you can go to anybody other than Leicester. Mate, I just don't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's just, yeah. Have you spoke to him after footy?
No. If you see him, mate, I reckon there's 1 or 2 things that'll happen. I'll either go into my shell, which I don't think I will, or I'll stick it on him.
Yeah.
I will stick it on him. Because what he's done, like, from then to now, no, that doesn't sit well with me. Because you're a no good bully.
Yeah.
And people go, he's done so well for Cardiff, blah, blah, blah. And Monkey could have got that team promoted. The amount of dough he had. And it showed what kind of person he is when the owner has got a dossier this thick, ready just to throw out because of the behaviour out of him, the racial slurs, all kinds, got all kinds on him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's an owner of a football club. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, building up.
No.
Yeah. Okay, well, obviously, I've heard you speak about it before. Obviously, it's not a great time. Yeah, but in the midst of all that, it's just still the Carling Cup final, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, what was that whole surrounding thing like that? So, are you arrived in that game in the right mindset? And obviously, there must have been a lot of media stuff with you.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So for the 9 games leading up to it, the captain was out injured. I'm playing all the games.
Yeah.
He hasn't trained once. The captain hasn't trained once. So I do all the media stuff, Gerrard, blah, blah. I walk into Wembley, there's a fucking 12-foot Gerrard, me on one side, and one on him, the home dressing room, the away dressing room. So I'm like, this is amazing, blah, blah, blah. This is the day before, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then the morning comes, names the team, not in the team. So then I just lose my shit then. Lose it, properly. I just thought, no, that's just a piss take, that. Not just a piss take, just like on so many other different levels, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, just staying in Chelsea Harbour Hotel. So when he names the team, I'm sitting there just like, and the rage is just boiling and boiling. And in the end, I just thought, can't be in this fucking room. I just walk out and go sit on the bus. As I'm sitting, I just punched through. And if anybody's been in the Chelsea Harbour Hotel, I don't know where it changed now. It was glass fronted shops all the way around. So I just started punching one of the shops. Honestly, I was just like, wow. Just like anger, frustration, everything that you could think.
What do the rest of the lads do? Not like
Just like
Then, but what are they saying to you? Because
No,
I've seen
and then-
someone try and calm you down. Does someone come to
yeah,
you?
they did. One of the lads and one of the girlfriends after. So I went. So after that, I just go and sit on the bus on the coach, and I'm sitting there, fucking like boiling, suit on, like just got no interest in the game now.
Yeah,
none, because you just shattered my dreams there. You know what I mean? In one fell swoop. Like it'd be different if the captain had been playing.
Yeah,
or training,
yeah.
or he hadn't trained. He had not trained. So I was just like, how? Do you know what I mean? If that's not to be spiteful and to, you know what I mean?
What does he say though?
Who?
It's Ben Thatcher.
No, that was Mark Hudson.
Sorry, who taught you played Mark?
Mark Hudson, yeah.
Does he speak to you? Does he come to the dressing
No,
room?
I was like, I didn't know nothing about it, just blah, blah, blah. Not him.
No,
you know
I know
what
you,
I
but I
mean?
just say, like, does he feel bad in a way? That's what I mean. But yeah.
And the lad, like, I can't believe it, Jez, getting on the bus and, like, they're all like, oh, it's all right and all that, come on. And I was like, no, fuck him.
Yeah.
And as he gets on the bus, his little rat comes up the bus and goes, the manager wants you. I said, tell him, man, get the fuck. Don't want to speak to him. Tell him, you gotta come now. So I said, no, fuck him, I'm staying here. So in the end, the lad's like, Jez, just go and see him, please, just go and see him. Don't make it no worse for yourself and that. And I was like, worse as in what? I'm not fucking playing in one of the biggest games of my fucking life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
After playing 8 games on the spin, 9 games on the spin. But no, so in the end, Craig Conway was like, Jez, come on, just please. So I went and seen him. And as I walked down the corridor, he pulled me like into a little alcove. But like once he pulled me, not like come in here, he's like actually ragged me. So I'm walking and I saw him, get your fucking hands off me. And I was in like proper fight or flight mode there, and I wasn't going anywhere. Do you know what I mean? So the same again. So he's in front of me, I'm here, and his mate standing behind me. So I just said, get fucking from behind me now, because I'll knock the fuck out of you. So I was like, what? I was like, I said, you do it, get away from me now. So then he comes and stands next to him. So he's going, if you don't carry on, if you carry on behaving what you are, you won't even make the bench. I said, what? Carry on the way. I said, I played for the last 9 games. He said, I'm doing fucking well. I said, now you've done this to me. I said, no, what? I said, only for the fact that I've got 2 coach loads of people. I'll tell you to go and fuck yourself. In fact, I am. Go on, get the fuck. I couldn't give a fuck if you don't put me on the bench.
Yeah.
I was just about to and got on the bus. I ended up being on the bench and that, but it just went the same. I was just like...
So are you... Obviously the game's on.
Yeah,
what
the game's
are you doing
on
the bench? Are you just like staring through
just,
it?
Just like...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You come on as well.
I come
obviously.
on, yeah.
And how is it hard to be
yeah.
in it? But when you're on, you go and I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to
no.
It was obviously it was a close game. It goes all the
yeah,
way to penalties.
It was. It weren't a case. I'm going to put. I was just like, it weren't the same as the playoff final. It weren't the same.
Yeah.
There was no animosity between me and Dave. He just like he shit himself. You know what I mean? And done it, but he done this calculated. Yeah. You know what I mean? If the captain had been training that week, I could go, all right, you know what I mean?
Or again, if he'd apologized and said
but the morning of it, do you know what I mean?
In front of everyone.
It's a shitbag way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a calculated move that you're doing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So then when the penalties come, I was still confident I was taking a penalty. But I heard a thing about Cole Palmer. No one understands until you're standing on that penalty spot. The goal goes from a normal side goal to a 5-side goal. I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
Cole Palmer can just manage it better because he's been in them circumstances a lot more often. In the semi-final, I'm taking the 5th penalty to get us to the final. Only that my mate saved a couple of saves, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't get to me in the 5th. I was the 5th penalty in the semis.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm 5th pen is that because it's a good penalty. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, when the goalie's that big...
But see what Charlie Adam did in that.
Charlie Adam, Stephen missed.
Yeah, exactly. So
do you know what I mean?
There's pressure on top of just taking it, isn't it? It's not just taking it.
And especially when you're throwing everything else that's happened.
Yeah.
And it's not like a blasted over the bar, hit the bottom of the post. You know what I mean?
I was right behind you, it makes you feel better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, fantastic.
But no, it's
what I mean is that this is where I'm lucky because I had all my mates there, all Liverpool fans, and they were sick.
Yeah.
They were sick for me. So what other lad, you know what I mean, has got that Like my
Yeah, you couldn't expect that to happen, could you?
No.
They obviously wants him to win, but
all my mates said that when you walked up, lad, I was sick to my stomach.
Just wanted you to score, yeah.
Yeah, I said I was sick because he just wanted you to score, and then when you done it, I said I just couldn't even. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bradley Orr, I remember seeing Bradley. Yeah. He was right on the halfway line in the Liverpool end. There was loads. It was crazy. Honestly, it was mad. Yeah. But no one understands. Like, there's one thing: missing a pen. If you've been on the pitch, if you had a lovely preparation, everything had gone swimmingly. Yeah. But with the circumstance, like I said, it's just...
Well, they seem to what Liverpool did recently with all the headset stuff and all, like trying to replay the game moments like you couldn't have ever replayed the hours that led up to that.
It's not even the hours that led up to...
Years, sorry.
It's the week leading up to it. My son, my middle lad, George, he went well. So I was driving up and down to Alderey because he was really ill.
Yeah.
So I got to Wednesday, I think it was, Thursday, and I was like falling asleep on going back down. So I ended up messaging me missus, like, no, don't come back, don't be daft, you know what I mean? So even that, and even the only person who bothered to ask about him was Joe McBride. So when everything that's happened, the only person who we hold, who's got a lot of respect for, is Joe McBride. Richard Collins, Malky's S&C thing, what a sausage he was. Because he could see how hard I was saying, I was working. No one stood and fought me corner. The lads were petrified of him. Do you know what I mean?
And why? Did he get dropped, or was he like angry, or what?
Petrified. Because he held everybody, you know what I mean, with the iron fist. And because I went, whoa, listen, mate, shut yourself down.
You don't do that to me.
Yeah, you can't. You don't speak to people like that. These are grown men.
Yeah.
Got kids, you know what I mean? Got kids. And they're petrified of somebody. But then it just shows you the mentality of certain people, doesn't it? Certain individuals. Like just going with the flow. Because if that's me and that's happening in my dressing room as a senior pro, I'm like, Gaffer, listen, I think you need to take it easy. I think you need to have a word with them.
Yeah.
Is there not other different ways that we can go about? But no one was asked. No one was bothered.
Yeah, but you should have a coaching staff of people there.
Yeah, but
help you and make not just feed your ego and make you
of
do
course.
The same thing. You
know what I mean? And that's the thing that done me in more than anything, is that everybody could see what was going on, but no one had the bollocks to stand up and go, listen, I don't think that's right, that way you're treating him.
Yeah. Because
he's opened his mouth and not taking it, there's no reason for you to treat him the way he is. Well, a Christmas party, so we played Blackpool. Here's another instance of it. Playing Blackpool, so we had to let them know on the Wednesday if you could go home. Gaffer, can I go home after the game? No, Jazz, got a Christmas party. I was like, what? Got a Christmas party for the fans and that on the Sunday. Alright, okay, cool. Drove up, played the game, drove back down, went to the stadium, 11:30, 10 o'clock, something like that. Go to the lift to the top floor, walk in, the woman from the what's it called, is like, Jess, what are you doing here? I was like, what? She went, I only got told it was all young pros. So like all the young lads, all the young pros are all there, and me. So I was just like, you're taking the piss, you know what I mean? The home programme, had every single player on it, apart from me, for that season. I know it sounds really silly and petty.
Yeah, but there must be something behind it.
But it's got to be something behind it. So I got made to go to a charity ball as well for hospice. I got made to go to a charity ball. It was like an Indian themed night. So there's me, the manager, the little runt, David Kerslake, a girl out of the office, and then like all fans on each side like make jokes and like take the piss out of me. And I was like, no, I don't think so. Like, so we just started giving them loads. So there was a quiz, and 2 people from the table had to go up. Go on, Jez, you go up. I was like, I'm not going up. No, go on, Jez, you're going up. So he was going, come on, Jez. I only go up and win the quiz, right? And the quiz was like all kinds. So, no, this is one of the best things that like I love, because I won the quiz on India. So it was like how many colours in the Indian flag, where was chess invented, blah, blah, all these things. And like, me missus will tell me kids, I'm a fountain of useful, shitty knowledge. I just know random stuff, do you know what I mean? So I ended up winning this quiz. There was like, there's all kinds of, what's it called? Prizes that I've won. So I've won like a 2-night stay in this hotel, food here, food there. So in the end, the compares going, you've won this, you've won that, you've won. So I just went, can I have that mic a minute? I was like, we're all here for a fantastic cause in Seavon, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not going to take any of these prizes. We're going to donate it again. So we're going to have a silent auction, aren't we, to everybody. And we're going to raise some more money for the thing, yo. And they're like, everyone's going, yes, going crazy, right? So ended up winning, ended up raffling it for another 10 grand. And it was one of the fellas off our table that it was a silent auction. So one person or two people from every table had to write a thing, yo, down. Yeah. So in the end, so like, he was sitting there bubbling, honestly. So I said, I don't want to take nothing. I said, no, we're going to do it. Silent auction for all them thing, yos. I know there's I know there's a few people in here who've got a few quid in the pockets. I said, let's, make it. So that what happened. Half an hour later, I got called up and like to read it out and that's what happened. You should have seen his face, Mackay's face. It was unbelievable. But then like, so it was in like the paper and that. Like, such a charitable thing and all that. So we just played right into my hands.
So he's gone thinking you're going to embarrass yourself in a quiz. And
embarrass myself in the quiz. He's took me for one on a Wednesday when it's my day off. Do you know what I mean? No, you're staying down. Honestly, so I just flipped it on him and just thought, okay, cool. Won the quiz, donated all the stuff that I've won back to Seavon. I made an extra 10 grand for the hospice. Made myself look like a hero, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it just couldn't have went any better.
Right, well, that's biggest manager fallout then.
Don't.
Yeah, well, obviously there's other things that you've been involved in. I think it's unfair because you do kind of get labelled as the person who talks about the arguments he's had and stuff like that. Obviously, you're a footballer who was very good at what they did, and it seems unfair. That's what it always comes back to. But there is famous interactions of you on Twitter. Obviously, I know you spoke about some of them and stuff like that. Rather than doing the same story, which obviously you're welcome to tell again, but do you think that there's like players aren't allowed to say stuff back? Yeah. And like I think the very first player that was ever fined on Twitter was Ryan Babel when he put a picture of Howard Webb in a United kit. Yeah. He gets a fine for that, but then you see what any football fan tweets to any footballer. So what can be done for the right way for players to get back, in your opinion? Because obviously someone who does fight their own corner.
Well, I never ever got charged by the FA for anything I ever said. Yeah. Not one. Only the Chesterfield thing. Yeah. And then it turned out that the lad was a proper troll who was like proper discriminative towards disabilities. So one of the lads had an autistic cousin, and we played Bromley away, got beat, so he's gone over to see his cousin. This lad's given him loads. And then he's done it on Facebook as well. It's not my fault. I'm not even going to use the word because it's disgusting. Your son cousin was there. I just went on. So I was like, oh my God. So they're trying to sack me on this. Send us that over there, Curtis. Sent me it over. So I just went in and just went, don't even attempt to sack me. So because I'll just go, look, you sympathise with that. Yeah. I said, that's a hate crime. Stuttering, spluttering, doing all the nonsense that they've done. And what they don't realise is that I'm not just a pretty face, I'm quite switched on. So every time I go into a meeting with anybody in football, I have the voice note on my phone. I'll just press it and just leave it on the counter. Yeah. So they don't know that what's being recorded. Do you know what I mean? Because then it's only, if it's not recorded, it's just he said, she said. Yeah. But no, I've got actual evidence there to back it up. So that happened on Twitter. But then, like, it's happened loads of times. Yeah. No, and I agree with you for standing up for yourself, but I was just thinking, is there a way that you think players can say? Because you see, like, you can't. There's no way whatsoever. The accounts, that's the only thing that people do. That's the only way, because they can say whatever they want to you, unless it's a death threat. That's when it takes, president, the police can get involved and all that. But if they start giving you dogs abuse, they wouldn't do it walking down the street. No. Because any footballer, I'd say 99% of footballers are from working class backgrounds. So they're not going to stand there and let you abuse them, are they, from across the road? You're going to get into, you're going to get duffed up. It's as simple as that. Yeah. So why should I allow it on a forum? Do you know what I mean? Well, it happened to me when I played for Walsall. My son was brand new. I think it was March time. So we played at Samia, and I'm holding my son. My son, me, my missus, my dad, my father-in-law. So I'm holding my son. There's 3 lads. It'll be on Twitter somewhere. This comes out, the lads know exactly who they are. Come on, start giving me dog's abuse. Gerrard, blah, 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 blah. Don't he walk on and get in the car? So we just went, yeah, hold on. The baby, the missus, so we just went out to the car and started bang. Come on, get out the car. If you got something to say, get out of the car. You should have seen him. They went the colour of boiled shit. Honestly, they went the colour of boiled shite and thought. And they chased him in the car to the motorway. And then that was, I don't know whether the Twitter was about then, but it was like on a forum or something. But the lads, when it comes out, they'll know exactly who they are and they'll mention it. But I just thought, no.
Yeah.
What gives you the right to say that to me? Stand there in front of my family? No, that's just not going to fly with me. It's happened loads of times. I just thought, no. But no one's bothered about it. And when a lad or a player says something back, you're the worst in the world.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's it. It's just trying to, like, I don't even know the answer, but like, it's what are you supposed to do and what is the way out of it to make it better? And it's
that's
just
it. Like the Chesterfield one. He just teed me up. It was just dead easy.
Yeah.
I just golded him, and he said it, and I just thought, bang, go on, you can have it.
Yeah. But it wasn't even that bad what you said.
It went everywhere.
I know, but obviously you make a joke about
making a joke
about his mum, but like any workplace office, that's just something that people say as a joke anyway. It's just like, I can't believe it got taken as seriously as if he'd said like maybe proper abuse, which it wasn't really. Was it, Tom?
It was pathetic, honestly, absolutely pathetic. But like I said, I've had it before, and I'll have it again. No, I won't have it again because I don't really go on it. It's just something just like. That way I used to interact with people, you know, and it just made me giggle. And I just thought, oh my God, I can't believe it. Just look at that. My mate was in Thailand and he sent me a screenshot of like a Thai paper with like my name, and he translated it for me. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's mad how it can exactly you just stand in your corner, not even like you're instigating with someone. No. You're someone saying it to you and you get back. But yeah, so I don't know what the answer is to that. But whether that's you not taking abuse well, I don't know what to say, but who wouldn't take it well within a dressing room? Do you know what I mean? Is there someone who used to wind up you or anyone else who wouldn't take it in a jokey manner they should have?
Yeah, there's loads. And to be honest, it's strange to be honest, because that's the environment that you're brought up in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know whether it's being around here, you got to have a sharp tongue and you got to have, you know, quick wit.
Yeah.
But some people are just daft and they just haven't got none of it. So like when they're getting it roped in and you're like, not abuse, the banter, you just don't know how to take it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, are you for real? But other people are just like dead quick-witted and that.
But well, so we spoke about Adam Hamill. He said it was at Huddersfield that it was one of the best dressing rooms ever. Obviously, he said spending so much at other clubs. But what was that time like with him and with everyone else?
Empty head. I call him empty head, but he's like one of them lovable divs. I don't know whether I should say that, but he'll laugh when I say that. Like, he called me Foxy Bingo, fat back, all kinds, like, but like, he's just hilarious. He is. Remember going, we used to have a car school. Me, the Weasel, that's what, like, the nicknames, MC Head, that's him, the Weasel, fat back, me, and Shaggy. So like, that was our car school. So we were driving over the moors this day, and he's reaching in the back trying to find something. Driving us like 70, 75 on the top, like, and pissing down, like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, sorry, yeah. And just didn't have a care in the world, honestly. He's one in a million, like, he's a funny dude.
I think he said he was, he lived 5 minutes away from training when he'd just get distracted watching Sky Sports News and be 25 minutes late just by for no fault of his own. He just didn't even mean to be late. But
there's been times where the car school has actually had to just leave him and just go, because one can be late, all four can't be late. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's happened a few times. But yeah, he's a funny dude.
Yeah. And how important is a dressing room in terms of how well you do on the pitch? Like,
massive, absolutely massive.
And why? What is it? Because if you just have 11 boss players who don't get on, do you reckon that wouldn't work as well as
work.
11 alright players who are best mates?
Yeah, it doesn't work. So when I was at Walsall, our dressing room at Walsall was unbelievable. I've been very fortunate. There's only been a couple of places where the dressing room was crap.
Yeah.
Walsall was next level. It was hilarious. It was funny. The lads wouldn't go home till like 4:30. Would spend 2.5 hours in the dressing room just like talking, or in the canteen just talking, just chatting, laughing, all stuff like that. When I went to Cardiff, it was dour. It was proper dour. And like when there was a few lads who played in the lower league, and we tried to like get it funny in that, but the other lads like were up themselves, and you're like, fucking hell, this is hard work. Yeah. So there was a player called Warren Feeney. So he didn't care about his clothes one jot. So I remember like everyone was going through the trend of like standing all over the back of the jeans, and it was all frayed and stuff. So this was like me and him could do it to each other because it was funny, and he liked it. You know what I mean? So he was talking about his jeans. I was like, look at you fucking tramp, the back of your jeans. It's like got a big archway, and he's like, nah, I've laid them and all that. So when he went out to training, I cut about 4 inches off the bottom of his jeans, so it was like he had a pair of ankle swayers, you know what I mean? So we're all sitting there, just waiting for him to get. So he gets in the shower, I pulls them on, and he was raging, but he was laughing at the same time. And I was like, fuck off, they're only from next, you minge bag and all that, giving him loads, you know what I mean? He's like, no, you've overstepped the line and all that. So I'm laughing, going, oh, no way. So like, it was funny, it was hilarious, everyone was buzzing off it. So he left it for about 3 weeks, and it was my birthday. So my missus bought me a pair of like lovely jeans, lovely fitted jeans and all that. So like, happy birthday lads and all that. Like, thanks very much. You had to bring cakes in and all that. Brought me cakes in. So in the afternoon I'm going to pick my mum and dad up from the train station because they're coming down for the for either, I think it was a Friday. Yeah, I think it was a Friday. And I'm going to pick my mum and dad up from the train station. So as I've gone back to the dressing room and getting a shower and that, or everyone's still in there, and I thought, what's going on here? Because everyone's usually get showered and stays off there. So I thought, what's going on here? So as I've gone in the shower, I've pulled my jeans off the peg, and he's only tried to cut the pocket off my jeans. But where he's that fucking daft, he's gone right through the jeans. I went, and it looked like I've got a pair of arseless chaps on, right? So I was just like, oh my God. So like, I'm laughing. I can't be upset about it, you know what I mean? Because it's happened. So I'm laughing, going, I can't believe you've done that. I said, fucking cost a fortune. Mrs. bought me them. She was like, you cut mine. I was like, all right, Sam. I said, are you quit? She's like, yeah. So I'm laughing, thinking, so I had to put the jeans on, drive into Cardiff, go and find the identical jeans, right? So I'm telling me mum and dad, so they're laughing, the guy going, you fucking joking? I was like, no, I had to go and buy a pair, so I'll roll them up, stuff them in the corner of the boot. So Laura didn't see them. So then when we're going out for food on the Saturday night, she's getting the baby's pram out. So as she gets the pram out, she catches the jeans. And I was like, what are they doing in there? I was like, I started stuttering. And I had to tell her, so she's saying them now, she's going, you're fucking messing. Big ass cut out of the jeans, honestly. Crazy.
So that's what he brings the dressing room together.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to.
It's mad. Honestly, it's crazy. Like Oldham, the football was horrendous. When I say the football was horrendous, we tried to make the best of it. The dressing room again, it was hilarious. So like, you had lads like baking cakes and bringing cakes in on like a Friday. So we'd have a cake and coffee afternoon. We had the manager, John Sheridan, loved the fella. What a diamond. We had a table tennis table in the corridor playing table tennis. Then we had lawn bowls playing lawn bowls in like the bar. It was same. The lads weren't going home till like stupid o'clock because the camaraderie was that funny.
Yeah,
it was brilliant. Like, we didn't have the best of everything. The gym, and the showers, everything was all like grotty. Yeah. But the lads just made it. Yeah, it was brilliant.
I think we had Lee Peltier, and he was saying that Neil Warnock was probably the best for him in building a together dressing room. Who was the manager for you that you think maybe helped the dressing room thrive?
I don't know. I don't think we've had. I don't think it was a manager as such. I think it was just a group of lads.
Yeah.
I've never had a manager like I go, yeah, lads, we're all going out on this day. You know what I mean? I've had that a couple of times. Mark Robbins done it.
Yeah.
And he was a top fella. But no one manager is like, we're gonna make the the dressing room, like the hub, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Adam was talking about Huddersfield. So we had the CEO called Nigel and he looked like the fucking solar of
Thomas the
Tank Engine, but I had him at Huddersfield and Carlisle, and he's a lovely fella. Like, I get on to him to this day. So when I was at Carlisle, he was telling a story about what I'd done to him. So we used to get dressed in porter cabins at Huddersfield, right? So the kit man used to have like a big kit bag in the middle of the floor that we threw all our dirty stuff in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was massive, proper massive. So there's a few of us in the dressing room. So Adam, Ollie Norwood, me, Vaughan, there's a few of us in this dressing room. We're like, come on, should we scare Clibbins? And he's like, go on, watch you. So I said, yeah, I'll get in the thing, yo. So I got myself in the kit bag like that with all the kits all over me. So Vaughan, was like, I think, yeah, because he got changed in the far corner. He was like fuming about something, messing around, saying, Nigel, what's going on? Look at this. So as he's walked past me, I've like that and grabbed his ankle. Mate, he fell into the wall. I was like, I thought I killed him, honestly. So all the lads like laughing, going, jumping around, going, buzzing off him. So like, I totally forgot about this story. So like, I was like, so then when the sign for Carlisle, he went, you fucking give me a heart attack. Remember in the, I was like, oh my God, remember that, yeah? But yeah, you know what? I've been in some belted dressing rooms.
Yeah.
That's the only part I miss from football.
Yeah. Well, I think as the legends came not long ago, I think they all say that as well.
Yeah.
Like the training and all the game. Well, obviously the game's good, but just being back with the lads and all that.
That's mate, honestly.
Yeah. Because
you just talk about, you just reminisce, you know. Give me anything to go back to a proper changing room.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Give me anything. I would.
That's boss. And then just, obviously you've had, so we've gone through a lot of memories and you're saying like how you show fuses, whatever. On the pitch, is there an opponent to maybe match to in that sense that you said you can have a joke with players in the dressing room? Is there a player that you enjoy coming up against, maybe not in the footballing sense, but someone that you knew? Was it almost like it'd be enjoyable to play against them? You know what I mean? Like just chatting to each other all the way through.
No.
Wind you up, but not in a nasty way. Is there someone like that you had? Or
no, I could never do that.
Yeah.
I could never do it. And the reason why I couldn't do it is that I'd done it as a chirpy 19-year-old against Wayne Allison when we played Tranmere. So before that, I was always dead chirpy. Like, you're shit, you're crap. So we played Tranmere at Walsall. So we were 2-1 up. No, 2-0 up at half time. I was going, fucking Chief. I said, there's nothing chiefy about you. He said, you're like a little, I give him loads, basically. And he was a big hard unit. Mate, honestly, worst decision I've ever made. Because from the second half, he just absolutely dominated me. And then kept on giving it to me. And I thought, never again. He scored 2 and then he scored 1. It was 2-1. And then he scored 2. He scored the winner and the first. He just held me down like a baby. Just held me by my hand and he just went and headed it over me. And then ran away laughing, pointing at me. And I just thought, no, never again am I going to do that. Because strikers only need one chance to score. Yeah. I've got to be perfect for a whole game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To keep him quiet. So I thought, no, never again.
It's not way of doing it.
No.
And was there an annoying referee or manager that you came up against? I think we had Steve Evans was mentioned by Lee Peltier. Obviously, being a fullback, it's a bit different.
Yeah.
He'd be up and down there, but he said like he'd just be shouting all the way through. Was there ever anyone that you hated coming up against in that sense?
Lee Johnson. What's his name? Is that Zavala? What's his name? Bristol City.
Yeah, I know you mean, yeah.
So we were playing and Michael Chopper was running down the line and he fucking stuck his foot out and tripped him up and caused absolutely carnage. But he was like a little cockney. Hey, you walk easy and all that, like proper. And then his lads in centre mid, like fucking like chirping away. He was another fucking helmet. But he was the only one that I ever taught. Like Dibs, do you know what I mean? Like fucking knobhead. But the one that I respected the most and thought you are, and then I worked him, was Nigel Pearson. Mate, he just commanded authority on the side. Yeah. Didn't take no shit from anyone, but he gave respect out. So I played against him a few times and he was like, well done, big man, and all that. And I thought, that's lovely, that. And then I had him at Hull as a manager and he was just, I didn't speak to him loads, but I knew that he respected me, and I respected him 100%. And he's the only manager that's apologised to me. And I thought that takes a lot. That takes a lot for somebody of your stature and your, like, you know what I mean, bravado, your masculinity to do that. And I just thought, no, that's decent. That
See, he does have a bit of a reputation, a bit of a strange, like the ostrich press conferences, and he held someone down at Watford, but you would not what you find.
No, I thought he was a top fella, and we played a game, and a goal went in, and he tried to come for me, and I was like, no, Gaff, I said, that weren't me. I said, when you watch it back on the video, you'll see that that's not me.
Yeah.
Like, because my recollection and my recall on things is bang on, you know, certain things. And I was like, no, that weren't me, that happened. He was like, no, it was you. And I was like, all right, okay, when you watch it back. And because I respect him, I didn't go back at him. I just gave him my opinion, then that was it. And then on the Monday, he watched it back over the weekend and went, you were right, sorry about that, I apologise. And I thought, you know what?
And you compare that with Malky, Mackay,
that
was never happened, would it?
No, fucking hell, never happened in Monday, Sunday, that. Yeah. But that's chalk and cheese, because he was a man's man.
And that's why you respect him, because he does that here.
Because Malky played the role of being like this tough guy, but he wasn't. He was just a bully, he was a shitbag.
Yeah.
But Nigel done it and carried it off, do you know what I mean? But also, on the flip side of it, if you're hard playing this role, you can see your frailties, and no, go on, I was wrong there, but he wouldn't have done that, do you know what I mean? Because he didn't understand the role.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He just played at it. He like standing there. You know what you should do, Malcolm Mackay? Here's a mad one. You should stand there and look and go that. And he should put his hands out, and the kit man used to put the coat on him. Mate, how embarrassing is that?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that, like, to everybody else, everyone's like, oh yeah, he was a sausage. He was just a pure bully. But Nigel, like, when you'd see him stand on it, 6'3", big massive head, big broad shoulders, played the game at an unbelievable level. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, no, I can respect that.
It's a proper manager.
Yeah, it's a proper manager.
Why's the kit man putting the coat on him? Why would you do that
that's
yourself?
Yeah. That's the question.
Asking it's bad enough, isn't it? Oh, that's funny. Have you ever seen a player on holiday that you've clashed with on the pitch and then reminded them of it? Do you know what I mean? So maybe the opponent you don't bump into a lot, but then you see them again.
No, I haven't. No.
Or have you ever carried a fuse from one season to another one? Like, or is it like past clubs, and like, how far back does it go that you go? And I remember what you did to him.
It's just a personality thing. It was never like, I can't think of who, but I know for a fact I've done it. Yeah. Or you just give a vibe off, and you think, most probably people have that perception of me. Like, he's dead angry. I'm not. I'm just like, but when I get on the pitch, I just want to win. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Bradley Orr was on, he was speaking about Elad's Juve, and he breaks Jamie Mackey's
leg. Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
And he jumps into, he meets him in the on holiday. So, just saying, like, obviously, he was saying it wasn't just him or the team that they were playing him, but like, we're getting him back because he was laughing at him. So, like, that does go on in that sense, you're trying to get even on them.
Well, James Vaughan, I've known Vaughan for years and years, and I play with him. So, him and a lad called Jimmy Neester. I don't know what's happened, but that one was heavy. We played Palace for Huddersfield, and it was a full-on brawl. I remember it clear as day. The kit man was involved. It was unbelievable. Everyone was just like letting each other. Wilfred Zaha poked me in the eye. He had like a big long thing, and I went and poked and put me out. Honestly, I was like, ah! But like, that was like at the end. But Vaughan gave it to him proper, and he said, I fucking hate him. So I don't know what went on, but he always said he hated him. No, like, from that, and I think he played for another team as well. He always said it. That's the only player. But I haven't
grudges over,
But I don't know what, something must have happened for it. But I've thought there will have been players who have thought, oh, he's a bell end him.
Yeah.
And then when I spoke to him, I thought, no, but he's all right. He's sound.
It's different on the pitch.
But it's just on the pitch. You know what I mean? It's your job. It's,
I played 6-aside last night, and someone kicked off at me for not going to get the ball, but then at the end it was like, Sorry about that. As you say, that is the smallest level. So you're playing at the highest level. You're a different person when you're playing football. You're like, not even trying to compare it, but you know what I mean? So it's you're in that weird mentality
exactly,
thing.
It's
and
that
you're just two blokes after that. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Well, you've heard the story, haven't you, about Dean Windass and Robbie Savage?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
in the pub after.
That in the pub after, and he goes, that's not even his dad. Do you know what I mean?
With it, yeah.
But that's, you know what I mean?
You laugh about that then.
I done my coaching badges with Sav. So I've spoken to him quite a bit, and he is a top fella.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, he knew how to wire people up.
Yeah.
Some people get that. As you said, you tried to do that and ended up getting 2 goals against you. But if you can turn yourself on doing that in a football sense.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Yeah. Well, we'll ask a big question about football history and some of the stuff like I asked you to prepare before. But the first one I want to ask is, who's the best player you've ever played against?
Best player? Played against some very good footballers and some players who I might mention and you wouldn't even go, what?
Well,
really?
Maybe the best player you played against and the player who's played the best against you, which I think maybe two different things.
Didier Drogba, played against him for Cardiff in the FA Cup, and he just thought, wow. He was playing at half cock and he was just an absolute animal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've used that picture quite a few times because in the group, one of the group chats, someone found something on Instagram, one of the coaches was talking about catfish, and I was like, no, that's just when I was young and fit and that. I've got another picture about when I was young and fit, and it was me going against Didier Drogba. Said, oh yeah, I found it. But no, in me, you could just tell he was thing, Luis Suarez in the final, but he didn't do much. No. So I know that sounds really silly to say, and they'd be going, what the fuck's he? Do you know what I mean? But I don't think he done much.
No, there wasn't much like him. Yeah, the two different things in it. I think Carragher always said Drogba used to bully him, and Carragher didn't get bullied very much by many. So, so you've gone to this. Sorry, who was your first football hero when you were growing up?
Maldini. In fact, I don't know. I can't really. Maldini for a defender when I started playing that position. Yeah. But my first vivid memory was Italian 90. It was US 94, and it just takes me back to being an inside. Stoichkov. Oh yeah. Stoichkov, and he was hitting them free kicks, and on Lechkov, all them. That's like my abiding memory of that summer, just being them in the square, and I was just hitting free kicks. So don't say he was I can't say he was my idol, but that's like the first vivid proper memory I've got of football was Stoichkov in Bulgaria in the 94 World Cup.
Yeah, that's boss. Go on then, we'll ask the stuff that maybe I asked you to prepare, but the first one before that is, what do you think is the best football era? So that could be like 10 years, 5 years.
2004 to 16. Nobody can tell me any difference.
Yeah.
Even like when you, like I said, comparing apples and oranges, that's what we've got now. You couldn't pick one player from now you could better that. If you name a striker, so we'll go for Harry Kane.
Okay.
Name the strikers, so Harry Kane in this era, Aguero, who else?
Lewandowski.
Okay, who else?
Benzema, maybe.
Benzema, okay. In the Premier League.
But you'll win, yeah.
Shearer, Fowler, Cole, Henry. Who else?
You've got Cole, Fowler, Owen.
Know what I mean? And that's only in the Premier League.
Yeah, that's just a few.
Then you got R9.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Romario, Romario's before that.
Yeah.
But mate, there's just no comparison. They couldn't live in that era. Not a chance.
Yeah. Well, I'll ask you quickly. The argument about Van Dijk at the moment is that he's saying he's the best. Well, no, so he's not. People are saying he's the best, and I think Sol Campbell's come out and said that same argument, and I played against all these. What would you say about that?
Sol Campbell, he's got a very high opinion of himself, which is cool for what you've done, mate.
Yeah.
And I can see why you're saying that about Van Dijk hasn't got much to go up against. So I would have to go with Sol Campbell.
Right. And in that, what?
Only for what?
Harder or?
Only for who he was playing against.
Right.
Only for who he was playing against. Not a better player, because we could never ever judge that.
Yeah. Just
on who you were playing against on a consistent level.
You
know what I mean?
You had a harder job.
Van Dijk has one tough game season. Haaland.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Every other week he's playing against animals. You know what I mean? He wanted, and it was back then. It was a lot more physical.
Yeah. Crosses
coming in the box. So Alan Shearer coming across you with a big elbow. You know what I mean? Trying to win a header.
Wouldn't fancy that.
No. Drogba.
Yeah. Your mate.
You know what I mean? Yeah, my mate. me and Dids are like that.
Who are the top 5 players of all time? You can do a 5-1. That's fine, but if not, just
no, I can't.
5. Yeah.
I think it's disrespectful putting them in that order.
Okay.
Do we have to put the obvious, or are we
It's up to you. Whatever you want to put them at. I'm guessing you say Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah, no, yeah. I'll exclude them.
Okay.
Because they're on the next level, and there's only Messi, Ronaldo.
We'll go on to them.
We'll go on to them, but I'd say Zidane, for what he done, meeting them 4 years, 6 years, was absolutely, I used to like, oh my God. When the ball gets pinged over the top and he jumps and just takes it down and caresses it. That's what I used to, every kid who played football, that's all he used to do. I do. Yeah. You know what I mean? So Zidane, I've got to go for Maldini for his longevity. Mate, what a footballer. And what a handsome man, honestly. No, if you come and took your missus off you, you couldn't complain, could you? Yeah. Honestly. So Zidane, Maldini. I'm going to put Wayne in there. I am going to put Wayne in there. Just seeing him growing up like as a kid to where he was. I've got to, you know what I mean?
That's fair enough.
Who else? He's not there yet, but he will be. Jude Bellingham.
Right, yep.
That's just like for what he's doing now. You know what I mean? Not like he's gonna be there. And who else can I put in there? Tell me a name. Tell me some names.
Well,
I'll say,
a lot of people have said your cousin. I've heard it many times.
I know,
but is that weird to say it, or?
Yeah, it doesn't say. It's a bit weird.
All right, carry on.
Yeah, easy for me. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
You feel like you can't say it,
but I feel like I can't say it.
R9, you mentioned him before.
Yeah, I'll put R9 in there. So R9, Zidane, Maldini, Jude Bellingham, Wayne.
Okay.
I will put Stephen in it, but he'd be in that at a Jude Bellingham.
Yeah,
but
it's
a bit weird. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, well, there's another question coming on that, so I apologise. But the next one is a five-a-side team of players you've played with.
Oof.
And you're allowed to put yourself in there. If you
no, not that egotistical, to be honest, mate. I will go for Tom Eaton as the goalie. One of the nicest people you'd ever wish to meet, honestly. Considering he's a Manc through and through. He's a lovely lad. Yeah. So I'll go with Peter Whittingham. This one, right, is going to be no one. I'll say very few people will have heard of this player. Okay. But wow, his ability was like next level. City brought him over from Ireland when he was 14 years of age. That's how good he was. So Jack Byrne. Yeah. Right, all the lads who I've played with him, we played with him. We just go, wow. Honestly, mate, he was technically head and shoulders.
So why haven't I heard of him? What happened to him?
Circumstance. Yeah. Circumstance, that's it. Do you know what I mean? Just horses for courses.
Never lived up to it all.
No, I think he was the first player from the League of Ireland to be called up to a full national squad in 36 years. In the League of Ireland, you know what I mean? So that tells you all you need to know.
He must be half decent.
Oh, mate, he's unbelievable footballer, and what a kid, what a lad. So I'll go with Tom Eaton, Jack.
Peter Whittington there. You used to have him? No?
I know, I'll have to old wits on the back burner at a minute. No, like, his left foot was an absolute wand.
Yeah.
But if I put him in, we're going all out attack.
Yeah, you need someone back.
Yeah, so I'll go with Darcy Blake. Just say again, played against Wales against England at Wembley and didn't give Wayne a kick. It was a rash all over him, and I just thought, that's you, Darcy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Darcy as a centre half. Peter Whittingham, maybe. Jack Byrne. Who else have I played with? No, I'll go with Wits. Yeah, I'll go with Wits.
You got one more up front, I'm guessing?
I don't want to put Jay Bothroyd in because he's fucking chocolates anyway. Absolutely loves himself. I can't put him in. But what a player. Who else? You know what? Who do we have up front? Out of Hull? No. I'll put Jay Bothroyd in. I've got to. Reluctantly, yeah. Because he is a bit of a sausage. Yeah. But it's how you take him with a pinch of salt, basically. But yeah, I'll have to put him in.
Yeah, okay. And then someone's just got injured. We need a super sub. Again, it could be yourself or anyone else. Who would you bring on?
Jesus Christ. I'm just thinking. Super sub. So we need a goal, don't we, really?
Yeah, possibly.
I'd go for Ross McCormack.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can play.
Yeah. Okay, sorted. Right, so we always do a debate here as well, where we try and settle some of the biggest debates in football history.
The debate.
First one, and I promise you I asked this to everyone, is Gerrard, Lampard or Scholes, in which order?
Which order?
Yeah. And I'll say Stephen.
Gerrard, Scholes, Lampard.
Okay, and is that easy?
Yeah, no debate.
Yeah.
Like, I've been seeing loads on this, and Rio Ferdinand's done it the other day on his pod, saying about Kevin De Bruyne and Stephen, and he's like, there's not one day where Kevin De Bruyne will be better than Stephen. I'd have to agree. Mate, how can you carry a football team on your shoulders for that long?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And a good one as well. Like, obviously, he was obviously so much better than that team, but like the team that he was carrying are so huge, and then for him to do that as well.
It's not a team, it's a club.
Yeah.
It's like a religion. Liverpool is a religion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. No one could then. So when you talk about they couldn't do what Stephen done in a million years.
Yeah.
Go and play right back against in the Champions League final when everyone else out on the feet. You're throwing yourself at things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dragging a team from 3-0 down, scoring a goal, bombing you know what I mean? And to be honest, he had a bad first half. When that turn that Kaka done and then played it into Crespo. You know what I mean? So from going from 3-0 down to not having the best of games to literally, no, I'm turning myself into Superman here and we are going to win it. Come on. You know what I mean? Scholes couldn't tackle. Do you know what I mean? Couldn't do the defensive work. Frank Lampard, you're playing with Claude Mackay. And who else do you have in next to him? Can't even remember. You know what I mean? Yeah, go on, you just run forward.
He just did the scoring.
Yeah, you just run forward and score goals. I just sit here. Miss Stevens going from that corner to that corner to that corner to that corner, taking throw-ins, goal kicks, all kinds. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. No, there's no debate, mate. Sorry.
Yep. Nope. Well,
not being disrespectful to the others because they are great players in their own right.
He's absolutely winning by a mile on this as well as that helps. Right, the next one then is Pele or Maradona?
I'll have to go for Maradona because Pele was too before my time.
Yep.
And he's playing against butchers and goat herders and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So when you look at football in the 80s, it's fucking brutal, mate. You know what I mean? Some of them videos I've been watching, mate, honestly, how we got up and just done it, I just don't know. It's absolutely berserk.
On the worst pitches as well.
Worst pitches. You know what I mean? How he can control a ball like that, mate, and then he gets banned and then goes and trains on his own. Have you seen them videos as well?
Before the
World Cup and that. Come on.
Up and down San
I know.
Yeah, what a player. Right, next one is Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
Easy.
Yeah. Mate, what Messi's got is a God-given talent. Everything about him. How can you be running a full pelt and just stop stone dead and just let the defender run in front of you without having like some kind of sixth sense? I respect Ronaldo for what he's built himself into. He's built himself into this phenomenon, you know what I mean? His body, his work ethic, can't be denied. But for actual football ability and God-given talent, Lionel Messi all day.
And if they are the best players of the last 10, 15 years, who's third place behind them?
Wayne.
Yeah, okay.
All day. Like I said, bursting on the scene at 16. When I say bursting on the scene, he weren't just bursting on the scene, he was ragdolling people. All grown men, Lily and Chiram.
Yeah.
In the Euros, Michael Silvestre, dealing with them, scoring goals, having a nation on your back as an 18-year-old, 16-year-old. It's unheard of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I said, so for the, I'm not going to say fall off, so for the fight to diminish, I can understand it.
Yeah.
Because when you've been doing it for so long, at such a high level, and let's have it right, everybody was out to get him. Every media outlet, he was just waiting to step out the line. Yeah. We're coming for you.
That's what in England. That's what
in England. That is,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Everywhere else should be celebrated, like Messi, Ronaldo in their countries. But why do we always have to try and tear people down? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, you would have let him be who he wanted to be and do what he wanted to do. Listen, mate, you'd see, like I'm saying, there'd be a three-way debate, not a two-way debate.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it. I've seen him do things that you just like, how do you do that?
But
you know what I mean?
And set it up close as well.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I've told a story about the half volley through the tractor.
Yeah.
And like, even now to this day, I just like, how can you do it? You must be like a physics professor in his brain to calculate it, bang on. You know what I mean? Yeah. No one can just hit that off the cuff and do that. Yeah. They can't.
And it must be weird for them that other people can't do it as well. Like, well, it's that natural, as you say, like Messi and that. They must not, like, just have it. Don't they? It's not like they're training to be
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, Ronaldo's trained himself into it.
He's like,
you know what I mean?
He's worked so hard to be able to do that.
Exactly.
Just
so as much as the debate is like, it's easy for me. It's not like, I'd respect exactly what you've done.
Oh, yeah.
But it's...
You'd be second behind Messi, you're not a bad player.
No, telling you.
Right, so the last couple of debates are quick fire ones. Obviously, feel free to go in, but just to throw a few at you. So it's Buffon, Casillas and Neuer.
Buffon.
Salah and Hazard.
Salah.
Haaland and Mbappe.
Haaland.
Technology or traditional refereeing?
Traditional. But only for... Because now VAR is going to involve, there's no talking points in the pub for all the R1s and all that. Yeah. It was... Because now it's just black and white. There's no like, well, why? You know what I mean? It's just, it's there and there now.
Yeah, and I think you've ruined the pub.
Yeah, you've not ruined it.
But like the post-match.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Even like the goal, like goals offside marginal. Oh no, I thought that was off. I thought people who have lost that, like, the passion for it, because it's no VAR said it's,
and it takes 5 minutes to tell you and you ruin the goal.
I know, like rugby league, it's done instantaneously. Same as rugby league, rugby union. Why do we have to fucking, you know what I mean? And the goal against Tottenham when Liverpool scored it, and the kid in the back going, no, we need to change the decision. We need to change it, and they're like, oh no, we can't.
Of course you can, yeah.
Of course you can. That's the rule, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You fucked it up, so you've got to change it because it's a goal.
And they're bringing the semi-automated offsides in now, but like they're doing it mid-season, which I think is the maddest thing. Like they're doing it this season, which is all right because the season's pretty much over in most places. Yeah. But any other season where you could change such massive things with the offsides, it just seems.
Yeah, well, that's just. Yeah. Well, know what I heard as well, that the UEFA are trying to go to 60-minute games, and the clock only starts and stops when the ball's in play. For me, it's just, why? Yeah. Just leave it how it is. It's cool.
He's doing too much. Yeah.
Just do. If the goalie takes too long, give a corner.
Yeah, like that one was good, wasn't it? We made it 8 seconds rather than 6, and it goes out the corner.
See,
I think Mark Clattenburg said that as well. He said that with the throw-in one, but it's like if you get done for time wasting, because it happened the other day where like you stop it, then write the card out. I think it was Liverpool against Fulham, obviously just the last game you watch. They had 2 players booked for time wasting, and they added 10 seconds on. So they added on. But the 2 players that got booked for time wasting, they stopped the game to write the thing out, which took like a minute anyway. So it's just like, it just doesn't make sense.
No.
Like,
some rules, I can understand, and it needs, but like that.
But it's like non-footballing people make the decisions as well, which is so obvious.
Clueless. Like VAR, put ex-pros in it.
Oh yeah, I don't get that at all.
Put ex-pros in it, and they can... Even like,
would you do that if you were asked to do
all
that?
day?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because surely people want to do it.
All you have to do is like look at the ball, where the ball moves. Like you're watching like the James Tarkowski tackle. Listen, he's gone in, but he can't just stop his momentum.
Yeah.
Oh, his momentum's carrying through. So how many people do you know who can run full pelt and just go, or go into a tackle? He's reckless. He's not reckless. You're going into a tackle.
Yeah.
That's what I can't get my head around it. We go, how's the momentum? So what, if you get a pendulum and swing it, it doesn't just stop, does it?
Yeah.
It just keeps swinging. Do you know what I mean? Once you put that in motion, you can't stop it.
Yeah.
It's the same as a tackle. The same as like when the ball ricochets off, they go and give the wrong decision. Just look at the direction of the ball and the trajectory where the people are running from.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you're running straight like that and the defender comes in this way and the ball goes there, there's a great possibility that the defender's won the ball. But if the ball carries on going straight and the defender takes him out,
He's probably missed it.
He's probably missed it, hasn't he? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't take a genius to work it out, does it?
Yeah.
Just look at all the components at certain times.
Yeah.
This is a bit that proper baffles me.
We'll go back to the quick fire ones. Relegation or a playoff with the teams from the league below?
Relegation.
La Liga or the Premier League?
Prem.
Extra time or straight to penalties?
State depends.
Ronaldinho or Zidane?
Zidane.
Rangers or Celtic?
Oh, I don't know. See, this is another thing.
It's best maybe not to pick.
Yeah.
yeah. Pass if you want.
Yeah, I'll pass on that one because I'm a Catholic. But obviously what's gone with Rangers and that, I've been in the ground that when's bouncing. You start swaying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not like, it's easy. Yeah, I'm not bothered.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know what I mean? It's not.
Was Brendan Rodgers was the former Liverpool manager who's at Celtic, and then Gerrard was the
hero
when he was at Rangers. You're like, oh, well, that's all I'm.
But if you go to one ground and you experience that ground, and like the game that I went to, it was rocking, and you're like, oh my god, you're gonna sway to it that way. But then when you see what Celtic have done in Europe, and you're like,
watch them games, yeah,
you know what I mean?
That Barcelona game, and how can you not like that as well?
Exactly. So I'm not.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? If it's not I'm not that precious about football, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know people go, oh, that's not just about football, blah blah blah. For me, it's football.
Yeah.
One's done amazing things, and so's the other. So I'll just pass and just sit on the fence with that
That's one. Bad. And then with a couple that we've asked you to prepare. First one to be the most underrated player of all time. Have you got someone for that?
Wayne.
Yeah.
I know we keep harping on about him, but he is so underrated, especially in this country.
Yeah.
And I'd love to get other people's opinions from different nations, like someone in France, for instance, in that, was it 2004, wasn't it?
Yeah, the
Euros, yeah. And so I'd love to get like someone's like opinion of Wayne Rooney at that time, like, wow, who was this? Do you know what I mean?
Was it just some teenager coming and bullying them, not just playing well, maybe bullying them?
Absolutely done whatever he wanted with the football, but also, stuck around serious footballers, like Lillian Thuram. He's no mug. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, and then have you got a most overrated player, or
I can't?
You're allowed to pass again.
No, I'll explain why.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give an answer because anybody who makes it as a professional footballer has earned that right.
Yeah.
Like I go, oh yeah, you're just a footballer. Do you really understand what it takes to become a footballer? The dedication and sacrifice that you've got to go through.
Yeah.
When all your mates are going out on a Friday, Saturday, that you've got to go put yourself in bed, make sure you're eating properly, all that stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be as disrespectful. There's players who do think, like, there's players who've got fathers or somebody who's involved in football, like they've had a helping hand a right few times, and you're like, okay, how's that happened? And you can understand why it happens. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be so disrespectful as to say, to put a name on it, because that's just not me.
That's fine. Next one then is, who's the greatest manager of all time?
Greatest manager of all time. There's a toss up here. I'm gonna have to put Don Carlo in there.
Yeah.
Got to. He's done it too many occasions in too many leagues, mate. And Champions Leagues. Do you know what I mean? Like, people go, oh, Guardiola, mate. He's had the best of the best everywhere he's gone.
Yeah. Like
me, if there's coaching books that I'm going to read or like take a real vested interest in, I'd read Graham Potter's book over Guardiola's and Eddie Howe and Klopp's, because they haven't had the best of the best. They've had to work the way through it. You know what I mean? So from someone who's come from like lower leagues, that's the route I'd have to go through.
Yeah.
So they're the people I'd have to watch and like studying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he had Messi. Oh, and then he went to Bayern, and then he's got Robin, Lewandowski. And then he goes to City, and then he's got De Bruyne, Haaland, Aguero. Where's the hardship? You're seeing the hardship now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're out, and you're not coming up with the answers, mate.
No, it's there's no reaction at all.
There's no reaction.
That Manchester derby when it was
it was dead. I've never seen a Manchester derby like it. At least there's like some kind of fight and battle. There was nothing.
Yeah.
So now you're going through hardship, but I'm not seeing no reaction to it.
Yeah.
All the other managers, Klopp lost how many Champions Leagues on the spin?
Lost finals when he lost the
finals, yeah,
lost
for Dortmund and all that.
Oh, sorry, I think he lost it was 2 of them in the spin. I think he lost 5 or 6 finals in a row.
You know what I mean? That takes a lot of bollocks me to come back and go, no, I am a winner. I am going to carry on winning.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mate, Pep fell off a cliff. I'm not being detrimental to him, but your team's not what it should be, and you're not coming up with the answers. So, you know what I mean? So that's why I'd prefer Klopp and others over him, because when you've come unstuck and you've been found out to an extent.
Yeah.
Because you haven't had the best of the
but
best.
And if he comes back, that's the thing, but he hasn't come back yet, has he? So.
He hasn't. But Liverpool aren't going to just let you take it. Yeah. Arsenal aren't going to, Pep, Mikel Arteta, you know what I mean? The next Messiah. Come on, mate. Come on. Do you know what I mean? He was at everyone. I was there.
I was about to say, did you meet him? Was he there?
Yeah, no. Listen,
nice
lovely lad and that.
Yeah.
But it's a ball. It's a ball, right? And people try and reinvent it beyond its comprehension, and you don't have to.
Have you seen that Amazon stuff with him? You know, like the light bulb and that. Like I just. My mate's an Arsenal fan, and I was like, I can't. But like, I said that we're not footballers, so I can't put myself in there. So like, what would you do if a manager? Do you just need the right players, or do you all just buy into it?
No,
and that's what it is?
No. There'll be lads sitting there going, oh yeah, and apps in the inside thinking, what a fucking dickhead this fella is. Like playing, you'll never walk alone next to the pitch.
Yeah.
You can't replicate it. You cannot replicate that moment.
Yeah.
No matter how much you think you're thinking outside the box, you can't replicate it. It's as simple as that. So like, I'm a coach now. I hear all these buzzwords like the terminology. Load of shit, mate. It's a load of shit to me. Give me 10 kids, 11 kids of this standard. You can have the top standard, and I'll guarantee I beat you with this. Because I know what makes them tick. I know how to beat them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why are we trying to reinvent the wheel? Guardiola, brilliant what he's done with the 3-box-3. That, wow, brilliant. Chris Wilder, overlapping centre halves. You know what I mean? Everybody can have this little thing.
Yeah.
But once, it only happens for so long, and then people work out how to beat it. Everybody learns the same stuff on the coaching badges. Everybody. It's how you interpret it that makes you good. But then it's the stuff that you do away from football. The personality side, can you get them buying in? Can you do this? Can you do that?
Yeah.
That takes you to the next level. I mean, ask any of them players from Jurgen Klopp, run through that door for me. I'll guarantee they'll all do it, regardless of if they were playing or not. That shows that he's a serious coach.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And it's what you make them, in a less cringy way, it's what you make them feel as much as
feel,
what you put
of course.
In it, yeah.
Take care. Are you alright? How's your family?
Yeah.
The kids okay? How's your missus? I know we've been away this week. A lot. Do you know what I mean? Mate, Brian Clough giving all the players roses, tell your wives and girlfriends, thanks very much for having us on this Mother's Day. Mate, all that stuff goes a long, long way.
Yeah.
Stuff that you don't see, not the tangible stuff.
Yeah.
I was speaking to somebody the other day who works for Burnley. I'm not going to say his name. And he worked under the new manager now, and with Vincent Company. Yeah. The difference is, he said, how Scott Parker is with the lads now. He said, tactically, Company was better.
Yeah.
But how he is with the lads. He said it's a better environment. It's a lot chilled, a lot more together because of what he's doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think it's I just can't fathom it. Honestly, I really can't fathom it. I'm coaching 14-year-old kids now, right? And I'm teaching in coaching, it's development. When you're coaching kids up to a certain age, 21s, it's development. You want to get them better to get them into a first team, or you want to get them better to, if they move on from your club, that they're in a better state. When you become a first team coach, it's about performance. So everything is geared to that 3 points.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm seeing, I know quite a lot of the performance side of it. I didn't know quite as much development. Right. So now I'm bringing that up. I still know loads of that. I watch games, mate. I must watch 15 games a week. Easy. Yeah. With the job I do as well, mentoring.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm watching games of footy, and there's no like rhyme or reason. It's just I really can't explain it. If it does my head in, because people in football now are just obsessed with like trying to baffle you with bullshit, and you're like, no, mate, that just doesn't work.
I think that's what Gary Neville was basically saying when he after the Manchester derby, saying that these are just players who are coached to do this thing, and once it doesn't go, like they just like the computer's stuck. They can't. They can't just react.
They can't exactly, mate. They haven't got the maverick in them.
Yeah.
Wayne Rooney's a maverick. Zinedine Zidane's a maverick. They haven't got that little bit of like intuition to go, no, I'm going to take this game by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah.
Here's what I can do. Because it's not all systems and ego there and ego. You got 22 players on a pitch. Not everybody's going to be in a perfect position all the time.
I'd say they look up if they're not in the right place, then they're like, what do we
do?
No,
like these Cat 1's academies, mate. Honest to God, don't, mate. How many lads you know that go from Cat 1 academies and just fall out of football?
Yeah, it's really, they're lost all over it, isn't it?
Mate, it's crazy. Because it's like a game of possession. You have possession, I have possession. And we'll put 2 goals either end. That's not how football is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? At the top end of it, it may be to a certain extent. Mate, when I go and watch Cat 3s against Cat 1s, the Cat 3s turn them over. Because they're getting round them, they're kicking them, they're getting stuck right in.
Yeah.
And he can play a bit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, no one's ever done that to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's bonkers. And the same when I was saying about, I couldn't work in a Cat 1. Because I've got too much passion, too much intent. Come on. And all that. Mate, I see them standing there like that. No, you got to let them make their own decisions, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's cool. But they keep making the same wrong decision over and over again. Are you going to correct it?
Well, and then they'll just sack them off, won't they, as well?
Yeah,
so
how can you correct it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They just need their 11 robots and the rest just gone, isn't it? Yeah.
No, mate, honestly.
So obviously you talk about your coaching there as well. Just going into it, watching managers, as we were saying before, like it's hard to get to the top level job straight. And you've said if you wanted to go in, you're gonna have to go from the bottom up. Even Stephen, even he's had to, obviously Rangers, not the biggest club in terms of Premier League standard, because he went to Villa.
Yeah.
It was just the sidestep, didn't do as well there. Now Saudi Arabia, you see Frank Lampard having Everton, and now he's back in the Championship. Yeah. How hard is it to get into that type of career? And from looking at your cousin and other people of a similar age, does it put you off or make you more up for it?
No, that's where I'm going to be. That's my job.
Yep.
That is going to be my job. You know what I mean? Whether it comes this year, next year, that is going to be my job.
Yep.
I've always said from the very start that my football brain will far exceed anything that my footballing body could ever do. Because I just see it, I see things differently to other people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But with Stephen, no one's going to turn that opportunity down. Going from Liverpool 18s, doing really well there.
Yep.
So the development side, like we said, to the performance, Stephen Gerrard, you command respect no matter who you go to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you go there, you have a good core of players, do you know what I mean, that can buy into what you're going to do. Plus, you're going there, they've got a manager who's not at a level, who can't command the respect that you can command.
Yep.
In Rolly Dala, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a perfect storm. So therefore, you go and do what you do. But obviously, you need the right personnel in and around you at the time. He managed to do that at Rangers. But like I say, it's just a circumstance.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Stephen against Brendan Rodgers, I'm not too sure. but I'd fancy him. Do you know what I mean? I'd fancy him all day.
Yeah.
But when you just got that level below in Ronnie Darler, I think it was Ronnie Darler, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
You know what I mean? All day. And then you said about him moving to Villa. He done everything that he was supposed to do. He just done it. For me, looking at it, and I was a little bit too quick.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, yeah, definitely.
He brought the players who he wanted in and got rid of the players, but he done it in like that. He didn't phase them out. You know what I mean? And then your centre half gets injured, then you got to recall one back in who you don't particularly need. Do you know what I mean? I understand. Do you know what I mean? But all the players that you look apart from Morgan Rogers, when they're all Stevens players.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Kamara, John McGinn. You know what I mean? When you look at the two squads, it is Stevens the majority, with the ones who Stephen brought in.
I know Emery is quite good at managing as well.
So that's what I'm saying.
Compare yourself to someone who's won the record amount of Europa leagues.
But what I mean is that if Stephen was given the opportunity, he'd have succeeded. Do you know what I mean? He would have, because that's who he is. He's a winner.
Yeah.
He wouldn't just let it fizzle out. Do you know what I mean? And then Saudi.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's about it. All of them, though, as you say, Rooney as well. Like, I think the fact that they're all still doing the coaching and not at the very top level shows why they were such good players and why they could all still go on to be great managers.
I'm saying you don't play that many games at such a high standard and not retaining and taking information on a daily basis. Do you know what I mean? Good bits, bad bits I can throw away. I'll keep that. I like that.
Yeah.
Formations, tactical bits. Nowadays, it's like it's a game of chess.
Yeah. Well, and for them, they don't need the money. Any of them either. So they're only in it for the football, surely. All of them. I'd obviously say, but you want to about Saudi, but still, I'm sure all the other, all of them, they've definitely got the.
He's progressed a letter beyond. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
The facilities, everything, the structure of the club.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And brought a lot of great coaches over there as well. So it's I think John Achterberg's still there, isn't he?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's just
the standards improve after he's
back. Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, we don't know. He'll come back one day, I should imagine. Do you know what I mean? But who's to say he won't?
Yeah.
He doesn't know football, nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And his first job, he's won a league. He's a league title winner. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people and ahhing, speculate and do all that. Just let him be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's been in the limelight for so long, so if he wants to stay wherever he is and enjoy himself and be a dad and
you'll go and be the manager then.
Do all the bits. Yeah, I'll be a coach, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Right, sorry, that was a slightly off tangent there, but no, I enjoyed it. Next question, the last one of the debate, is the greatest team ever. So not like a 1 to 11, like an actual team that's been together.
Barcelona 2010 to 13.
Okay, so which forward line are you? Because all the defence was similar, but what forward line is that?
It was Messi,
Villa, is it?
Villa and Pedro.
Yeah.
That team. So Guardiola and Tito Villanova's, mate, they were special then.
Yeah.
But then you look at that team with Neymar, Messi, Suarez.
Yeah.
That's do you know what I mean?
Quite good as well.
Oh, quite good. Jesus Christ. You don't like you're on the waltzes if you got a marker like that. You're looking mad, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's great. And then, right, the last thing I'll ask you then is a red card. So we ask you to give a red card to something in football and something in life. So it can be traffic, it can be time wasting, whatever. So what would the red card in football be?
I want to say VAR. But I don't think it'd ever be red carded now.
No, it's adapted maybe, but they'll never
I'd never get rid of it. It'll be adapted, as you said. Time wasting. I hate it. It's boring. No one comes to football to watch a fella untie his lace, stand up, go back down, pretend to throw it, drop it behind his back. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That pisses me off. So I'd have to say time wasting.
Well, we had David Fairclough in a matter of hours ago, but last week on this, and the Saint Etienne goal, I'm sure you're aware of it, at the end. I watched the game back and none of them time wasted too. 1 goal ahead with 6 minutes to go. Quarter final European Cup, just scored. And there's 3 chances where they get to go in the corner and he was going, no, we told don't time waste, that's not what we do. And he crossed it in, trying to score again. I was watching it just from a modern perspective, going, "Oh my god, I can't believe it." I said that to him, and then like to watch how that's how the game was. Maybe that's better. Obviously, it's probably less safe in terms of win, but more entertainment for football.
It's entertainment, and that's what people pay the money for. They don't come to be bored, do they? You know what I mean? People are paying a hell of a lot of money now to watch games of football. They want to be entertained. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So that's, go and do it. Go and entertain. Go and put smiles on people's faces.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right, well, that I think it's the end of our chat, if that's okay. I've enjoyed going through it all that. We've got there's going to be a little section after where people have sent a couple of other questions in that we'll do. But it's the end of the main one. But thank you so much for coming in. I really have enjoyed it.
Cheers, thank you very much. No, it's been brilliant.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you for watching or listening at home to the Football Historian Podcast.
Locking eyes from across the room, heart is pounding. What have I have to lose? This kind of feeling tends to blur your sight.